Westbrooks, Dominic McNabbs, Todd Hermans. Like, we had a lot of culture there. So since day one when I came in there, it was different. Like it was almost like I was drafted to a team that was established. There was like a good team. It wasn't like, I got drafted to a Arizona or Chicago, like a team that wasn't really good. You know what I'm saying? So since day one, I just felt something special about being in Philadelphia. It felt like no other, and as rookies, as guys are sitting in the draft and waiting, it's like, you can't wait because it's like, all this hard work I've been putting in all my life, and now I finally get an opportunity to get drafted, and you go get these millions. You think, I go get Drew, I go, just the whole, persona or, atmosphere of being a professional athlete. So I'm saying this to say, when I was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, it was a dream come true. But, the era of the Andy Reid era, we came in there, and since day one, we knew what the culture was. It wasn't no guessing. I remember a certain situation where Brian Dawkins got on me. I fumbled. He wasn't there my rookie year. I dropped the ball before I got in the end zone, and I remember seeing it. Yeah, I could just remember the culture. Like, he cussed me out, but he don't even cuss. But like, he cussed me out, but without no cuss words, if that makes sense. So, it was just like the camaraderie, the culture, who you looking up to.
Oh wait, that's where you got that when I fumbled and against the Chargers, you chunking on me. You got that from Dawkins?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you feel me? So it was on some like, and I was still younger, but on that type of time, but culture was huge in Philadelphia, and things kind of just fell off like 2011, 2012. So moving forward into that, we kind of felt that, the era of Andy Reid was coming to an end. So I remember that summer, we didn't know who was going to be our coach. You know what I'm saying? We sitting around seeing who's going to be the coach. So they started talking about this guy, Chip Kelly, and I was familiar because at the time I was a Pac-10 guy. So, he was coming from that division, and I, saw a lot of him, how he had the open style offense, and they were scoring all these touchdowns and yards and points. So for me, I'm like, man, if we get an offense like that, it could be crazy. So my first initial impression of it was like, man, this could be you got me, Macklin, McCoy, Vic, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got ballers. So I'm like, you implement him into our offense, or as a coach, sky's the limit. So that was my first initial. Yeah. I don't know what you thought, but that was my first.
Yeah, I wasn't on that. I was on like, first of all, y'all like Andy Reid go? Are we crazy?
Right.
Before y'all had Andy Reid, what was y'all? That's the truth. The Eagles weren't that good. He changed the whole thing around. And now you see how good he is now, but he's been this good. He just didn't have that type of quarterback, in my opinion, to take him to the promised land. But anyway, so when I heard the call from Howie, like, yo, we going to move on for Andy Reid, this and the third, the owner called me, Mr. Lurie. I said, all right, bet, cool, man. Who he's going to be? Well, we're thinking about a guy named Chip Kelly out of college. I said, college guy? I said, all right, but I ain't went in college that long. I was in college for like a year and a half for real. I got out of there. So I was like, all right, cool. We'll see how it works. So his first meeting, though, he calls me up and said, hey, I got a team meeting next week or whatever, because off season. I said, yo, I'll be there. I'll be there with all that. So I called him back probably like 2 days later, like, yo, look, my best friend died. My best friend's dad died. So I'm going to the funeral and all that. So I can't make it to the first meeting. He says, cool. He calls me back. Hey, LeSean, takes a deep breath. So I'm like, all right, that's some bullshit about to happen. Okay, I could just hear it. He says, I really need you there, man. One of our best players, one of our leaders, got to be there in my first meeting. I say, well, I just told you that my best friend's dad died.
Right.
The dude practically was raising me, as a, I have my own dad, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I said, well, look, man, I ain't going to be there, coach. I told you this. I'm not going to a new relationship, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't go. I didn't go to the meeting. I don't know if you remember that, but I didn't go to the meeting. So I think that caused a rocky start, right? And then we finally got cool again. But I remember saying to myself, yo, if you don't care about your players, how they feel, right? If somebody close to them dies, you should be encouraging, hey, go there, right? Support your best friend. Can we send flowers? You know why? Because that's what Andy Reid would have did. That's what all the top coaches would have did. That's what the owner did. That's what the GM did.
Be understanding of it.
They were understanding. Because if his best friend died or dad died, I'm sure he would be there. So that was my first rock relationship with him. And since then, I mean, y'all know the story. It's been bad.
Yeah, so I think I want to dive in because I specifically spoke on, what I thought when we first was, about to hire him. Because, like I said, I'm a Pac-10 guy. You wasn't in that offense and you wasn't in that era. So for me, like, I understood as far as just the playing side of it. Right. Now, since day one, we're gonna dive deep into it, and this is the truth of Chip Kelly. Since day one, and I know you remember, so our first practice, before a meeting, before any of that, Like our first practice, we get on the field, and this when we in shorts and helmets and shit. It was like it wasn't like a training camp practice. It was like an off-season OTA practice.
Okay.
We on the field, and he basically is like, "There's no starters."
I remember.
He said.
I remember that.
So he came. You gotta remember this. You was all pro.
Yeah.
Me, Vic, and Macklin was damn near all Pro Bowlers, right? So coming off a year, how we came off, and you coming, you the coach, and we already started. And we like Pro Bowl. Had 2 Pro Bowls. You won all pro. So it was like you coming in to guys. This the guy. Like we getting paid more than you. So you coming in here talking about we not starters. How the hell you coming in to the NFL and you the coach now? You talking about there's no starters. So that was the first. He rubbed me off. That was the first.
Because even that, you're right. Because I remember with the starters, right? It would be some of the backups going. I'm like, yo, like the ones was up, and I'll be in the group. You won't be there, or you'll be in the group.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking,
we
like,
rotate like every play.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like every play was rotating. So like usually if you're a starter, you got like 4 plays in a row. But at that time, it wasn't like he had the first person going up, then the second person going up. It was like we was rotating every time, right? So I'm sitting back and I'm looking. I'm like, how the hell you coming in talking about there's no starters? You telling DeSean Jackson, LeSean McCoy, Jeremy Macklin, Brent Selleck,
that was Selleck, yes,
Michael
right.
Vick. Like you telling all these guys we not starters? Asante, was Asante there or he left?
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He would have had a hard time with Asante. But it's like you coming in, you telling guys you're not starters. So since day one, I'm like, this not gonna merge right? So then it comes on later on. So we in the meeting. He starts saying, "Oh, y'all gotta wear heart monitors. Y'all gotta pee in the cup to see how hydrated. Y'all gotta put a sleep monitor on at nighttime." Bro, we going out, we having fun. You trying to tell me you trying to control how much we sleeping, how much water we drinking? Like you we was like a guinea pig. It was like we was back at college, and it was like he was nitpicking at every little thing, right? So I'm like, bro, I'm a Pro Bowler, and I say no disrespect to you, bro, but I'm not doing all this. So like over and over, like throughout the season, he would like find me, or he would try to call me in his office and like get mad at little shit. And I'm like, bro, you talking to me about everything that don't got to do with on the field. He was like, well, if you look at it, everything I'm asking you to do is going to help you be a better performer on the field. What the f*** is you talking about? Did you not see just what I did my past 3-4 years before you came here? So, like, for me, it just was like, since day one, it was like we was butting heads. But, like, I feel like as far as the terminology aspect, like, he was very intelligent. Like, I would give him, like, that's the only credit you probably going to hear me speak on this whole topic about Chip Kelly was his terminology and the ins and outs of his plays. Like, I love that because that was statistically my best year I had. I had 83 catches, had like 1,300 plus yards, and had 9 touchdowns. Statistically, that was one of my best years. But as far as like all the how long did you sleep last night? Yeah. Like, who the fuck is y'all, bro? I'm 23, 24 years old. You asking me like my own mom and dad don't call and ask me.
Nah, he definitely had that college in him because like I remember one of our first practices, he said no black socks. You remember that rule?
Yes.
I said, hold up, man. I only wear black socks. I said, and I'm black.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I like black socks.
Yeah.
I said, you ever see Friday Night Lights? You ever see that movie? Yeah. I'm booby. I'm just ain't hurt, right? I need to wear black socks. So we would laugh about it, but I thought he was joking with me. So then we got to the field. He said, hey, where's your white socks at? I said, Coach, you was serious about that? So I said, I made one of the interns go give me some socks, right? So the next day, I said, Coach, man, I'm all for being a team player. I'm all for being a leader. I'm all for following your rules. Because we come from Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. I said, don't get it confused. Andy, they fired him. Yeah, Andy wasn't letting DeSean Jackson do whatever he wanted. He wasn't letting LeSean McCoy just – Andy Reid don't do that. That's why Patrick Mahomes will always be great because he going to hold him to a standard, right?
Sure.
So I said, yo, man, look, I can't do blacks. I can do white socks. I can't do that, right? You want me to get 9 hours of sleep? I can't do that. I'm 24 and I'm the best running back in football right now. I'm not doing that. Right? But I'm gonna take care of my body. Our best player, I don't know how you feel about it, but our best player, right, was Jason Peters. I mean, you look at him, he's phenomenal. I said, look, man, you keep harping on this dude about getting sleep, about the piss test. I don't know if he smokes weed or not. I just know that he passes the test.
Yeah, but the piss test wasn't for
No, I know. But I'm just saying he passed the test every time they testing for marijuana, right? Mm-hmm. And he's hydrated enough when we look for his hydration. Why you keep poking with the best player we got? We don't want to make him mad. This is the NFL, it's not college.
Right.
And I feel like he had that college mentality because when we would argue with players, right, or he would have issue with players, he would never directly come at DeSean. He would never come at me.
He would have his little assistant. You remember his little assistant?
I'll give you a better story. You know I like stories. Everybody keep calling me because they know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one time DeSean is running a route right now. I don't condone this, but this is DeSean sometimes. He got his pants halfway down, right? Like he hanging out on Crenshaw Boulevard. Is that a street?
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Like he's just hanging out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and the head coach says, DeSean, man, hey, I don't know how you run that route with the pants like that. DeSean comes back to the huddle. He don't even say that. Come back to the huddle. Same, there's another route. Hey, DJ, man, you gonna lose them pants where you running. Right? I'm thinking, all right, at one point, this coach gotta have some nuts and say, yo, pull your pants up and act like a professional. Because that's what Andy Reid would have did. You know what he did? He had a little intern, right? Because he's had these little, I don't even want to call them interns no more. Like little, what are they called? Like little runners, right?
Yeah,
they didn't have no real job. I don't know what they names was. I don't know what position they had. I never seen him. Only time I seen him was on the practice field. And he would tell the dude, hey, look, hey, to tell DeSean, tell the coordinator or the position coach to tell DeSean to pull his pants up. And I'm sitting looking at this like, you the head coach. How scary is that? So you lose respect. But then come a little rookie, he gonna yell at him. Yo, why you ain't doing that? Last thing about Chip, since we talking about him this on his attitude part, he was the type of coach where like he never was like respectful of your opinion. So like so you the head coach, whatever you say typically goes. That's how it works. But let's say, yo, we having an issue with this or having an issue with that, or I don't like the way you calling these plays. I would say, look, coach, you keep calling the same play, bro. They on to it. And you know what he telling me? He would smile at me and do whatever he wanted. So that's why when he got rid of me, got rid of him, got rid of Macklin, got rid of Vic, got rid of Nick Foles, it was like whatever, because that's the attitude he carries. Right. And that's that college attitude where, all right, we on scholarship. You don't do good, we going to recruit the next guy.
I just want to specifically talk on like his rules and just how he implemented certain things and how he interacted with certain players. So that was a good point on how you felt like he was really scared. And I could tell you that since day one. Like, he never really approached me and like was ever a disciplinary. Like, you know, he always was on, like, would talk to me, but you could tell he was scared of me. Like, and at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do nothing to you, bro. You my coach. So I'm going to respect you for that much. But it's like, at the same time, as a player, and that's why I feel like a lot of these coaches that have that relationship with the players, like the Kyle Shanahans, the Andy Reids, the Sean McVays, Bill Belichick, maybe with him and Tom Brady, but not Bill really. But like certain coaches,
Bruce Arians,
yeah, certain coaches had like a respect from a player. Like me, I respected certain coaches, and then when you get my respect, I'm gonna run through a brick wall for you. You feel what I'm saying? I'm sure you feel the same way about certain people. Like, because in the hood, when we grew up, like, if my dad wasn't there for me, my coach, that's who I was calling. If I needed something or I needed to get picked up, I'm going to call one of my hood coaches. And so for me, like, that's the love you build with a coach. So, like, with Chip Kelly, I never felt like that love because it was like he always was scared of me. Like, how can I respect you if I feel like you scared of me? Like, you never voiced your opinion with me. Like, you always ran around it. And I can remember a situation with the playoff game. So, when we lost the playoff game to the Saints.
Yeah.
That game, I think I only had like 3 or 4 catches.
But you was hurt for like
I had a little injury on my ankle, but it wasn't nothing that crazy. But at the end of the day, I remember that game. I had like 3 or 4 catches for like probably like 44 yards. But there was a few penalties that had got on me, a pass interference down the field. But I was more after the game. I was pissed off and I was hot because we lost. And I'm like damn, Riley Cooper had like 7, 8 targets. You know what I'm saying? Macklin had a few, but I'm like, bro, I'm beating my man. The coverage was definitely not stopping me. So I'm like, after the game I got on, I remember I come to the locker room, I'm like, bro, like, the fuck is going on? Like, why you not getting your main player the ball, right? So then I remember this. He never was really open, and he never, like, really told me anything. He tried to, like, always run around himself. Like, he always made excuses or, like, well, this happened, we should did this. I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, that's bullshit, right? So exit meetings. So, as you know, after you lose the playoffs, or if you don't make it to the playoffs, you always have an exit meeting.
Yeah.
I remember we had an exit meeting, and I never seen him. I never went in there and talked to him. Like, I left.
Oh, you never.
Bro, I left without talking to him because I was so pissed off because the whole year, like, we never really saw eye to eye. So I remember I left. Everybody in, we had the exit meeting, was a team meeting. But after you do the team meeting, the head coach always wants to see, like, his top guys or his main guys. I left the facility. I got on a plane to L.A., and I was the fuck out of it. I was pissed off, right? So I get a call. Before I get on the airplane, I get a call. I see Chip Kelly. I'm like, man, what the fuck he calling me? I answer the call, and he like, DeSean, you didn't come by and see me. I'm like, man, you know what type of time I'm on, bro. I don't got to say to you, bro. Like, I already voiced my opinion. I told you how I felt. I was pissed off. You wouldn't give me the rock. Like, I don't got nothing to say to you. And I left.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I kind of knew, like, that's when shit started to get shaky. That's when I'm like, man, like, I just started feeling something weird, bro. And then that speed to fast forward everything, and then that's when I got the release, and we'll get on to that a little later. But like, I don't know.
That was hold up, before you got released, that was the last time you talked to him?
That was the last time I talked to him before the release, bro. He called me. He was like, I didn't see you before you left. And I was like real mad, bro, because like.
So my thing is, like, when you talked about him being scary, you say that because I felt the same way. And the correlation I want to give you is more like, remember when they had the thing with the cops was killing all the black people, right?
Yeah.
And one of my best friends is a cop, right? And he was saying a lot of that problem is when you're not used to dealing with a certain type of people or a certain race, right? And you only know about them from things you might have heard, things you might have read, right?
Sure.
Things you see from a distance. So when you see him, it's like you hesitant.
Right.
So I remember playing with him. I'm like, yo, I never had a coach, right, that was scared or not even scared. I'm gonna say uncomfortable. I never met a coach that was uncomfortable with dealing with black players because let's just not hide it, right? Most of the players are black. NFL was dominated by black players. So, and there's a lot of white coaches, right?
Yeah.
But it was weird that you're uncomfortable. There would be times where I would be in the meeting room with Duce Staley, my running back coach, and he would say, yo, he would be critiquing me about something I did.
But you could tell it's
But
coming
I'm thinking,
from,
like, this not even your words.
Exactly.
So I would say, where you get that at?
Yeah.
Why are you telling me this? Because me and him had a great relationship.
Yeah.
Well, Chip wants you to this and that.
Why he don't come to?
So I say, cool. Yeah. So I would go ask Chip, hey, look, man, in the meeting room, you know, I heard you got a problem with the way I'm doing this and the way I'm doing that, the way I carried the ball. Right. You know, my numbers is like every 350 carries, I might have one fumble. So anyway, I'm like, yo, why are you saying that? Oh, you know, I'm just thinking he never would say this, but he would say it. So it's crazy when you talk about being scared, it's weird because even the white players that I play with, right, and I have a great relationship with all my teammates, no matter what race, what color, they felt and seen the same thing. Like, yo, he seems uncomfortable with black players. I'll give you some examples why I feel like that. One, you just talked about how he didn't want to address you and he didn't want to address me. Right. But if things like small things like, yo, I played on so many different locker rooms, right, from college, high school to pros. And there's some white dudes that rock the ball head that listen to different music, rock and roll and this and that or whoever it may be, right? I got some other dudes that from the South that like gold teeth, that like crazy dreads, right? That listen to Kodak Black and this and that, whatever it may be. But I'm saying is that we all are different, but we got a common goal to win the championship, so we work with each other. He's the only coach I've ever been around, bro. I don't care what color, what size. He would say, hey, I don't want nobody listening to music in the locker room. Remember that? Yeah. Yo, put your headphones in, this and the third, or the cars we drove, right? Now, we got different friends. When a lot of us, when we get our money, I seen you pull up in different type of whips. Double R, Rolls Royce, mine might be a Bentley, wherever it may be. Right. That's what we did, right? Brent Selleck, he wasn't really into the car thing, right? But he was into buying boats. Everybody got their own thing when they make it. And Chip was like, yo, I don't want nobody driving to the games. You all gonna ride the bus to the games. Yeah, that was crazy. And then from there, so I'm thinking like, yo, why? Are you uncomfortable with the way we wear our clothes or how we listen to music?
Lifestyle.
Do you remember the cornerback? I forget his name. Black dude had a crazy nappy head, right? That was his thing. His hair he never brushed that shit. Roc Carmichael, something like that. He went to Virginia Tech as a cornerback.
Yeah.
True story. Chip calls him in the office. Now he gonna talk to him because he's not a big player. He calls him in the office, right? And he says, now this kid is a good kid, smart. He's dark as night, right? Black kid. Hair's always nappy, right? That's his look.
Right.
He tells him in the meeting, yo, I want you to be more presentable. He says, what do you mean be more presentable? I want you to, cut your hair, man. Get a look like, like maybe like a Shady's haircut or he telling the man to cut his hair. We in the pros, this ain't college. The dude how I know the story because he came down to me like, yo, man, can you believe Chip told me he want to be more presentable, cut my hair, this and that and the third.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's uncomfortable, bro, with working with black players. That's a prime example.
I could never respect and I don't know if you remember. Do you remember like at practice he used to have the loud music? He used to he bring the music out there and it was like no cussing. It's like how are you gonna let us listen to music and we supposed to be rah-rah, but you talking about no cussing, like no cuss music?
I have so many different scenarios I was part of with Chip Kelly when I felt like he wasn't comfortable with black players. Like even the one time with Riley Cooper. Now so many different things happen, and Cooper has the thing where he says he's at a concert, right? Him and his boys, and he says a black security guard, I'll kick all you niggers' asses, right? Yeah. That went everywhere. It went viral. Yeah. And I remember Chip had a meeting the next day. He brought Riley Cooper in there, and Cooper said he's sorry, whatever. And then Coop was excused for like, I don't know if you remember this, for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
You didn't even see him.
It was like
a week. Let's say a week.
Yeah.
You didn't even see him. So a lot of players that we got great relationships with, I had a great relationship with Coop, right? I'm like, ain't no way he racist.
Right.
Been in with this dude, ate lunch with him. But I wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
Chip made it so nobody could speak to him. Nobody could even talk to him. And I'm thinking, like, how does that even happen? You made it, you say all this and that, and you just say sorry and you leave and nothing ever talked about it.
Right.
When he comes back to the team, I think Jason Peters checked him about something, was trying to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Chip came in the middle of it. He wouldn't let him talk about it. So I was like, he hid that whole thing from us, where everything else you want to talk about. Mm-hmm. There were so many players that he had playing, and maybe one of my issues was I was outspoken. If I see something I don't like, I'll speak on it. We had guys like, I don't know if you remember this dude, Jeff Mayo.
Who?
This is crazy. He's a wide receiver.
Oh, Jeff. He was from Oregon.
Right.
He was an Oregon guy. Yeah,
Oregon dude. He had all the Oregon guys in there. So
yeah.
I remember saying one time, like, yo, he made the team. Wait, okay, he made the team. Cool. Maybe, I don't know. He made the team. We get to the season. I'm like, oh, wait, he got a role?
Yeah,
wait, he about to play? And he was a cool kid, but he couldn't play. Everybody from Oregon, right? And I'm not even saying all the white players, but like, he had so many white players that wasn't, because there's some white players that's really, really good. Mm-hmm. That he need to play him. We got to play him. But there was some white dudes that couldn't play at all. I'm thinking like, yo, we got a guy on the bench that went to Alabama that's good as hell, that's strong, that's big and effective. You not playing, but you going to play a white dude from Oregon.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I couldn't understand this dude.
He was definitely favoritism to a lot of guys that came from Oregon. I remember that too, because I remember Josh Huff. He came, and there was a few guys. It was like you'll look up on a roster and out of nowhere these guys will pop up, and I'm like, how are these guys even getting chances to be able to play in the NFL? Like, this is the pros, and I know they came from Oregon, but like, bro, we want guys on our team that's going to be able to really help. I don't want a guy that you just come in because he knows your system. And it was like he was giving people the benefit of the doubt because they knew his system. And what I will say, I don't know if you had troubles with that system, but like implementing all that hurry-up offense and knowing all these codes and then putting up signs, like it took me a little while to catch on to a lot of that shit. Did you have it?
That's easier for me because like we different positions, right? Because you might be on the left side, you might be on the right side. Me, it was kind of easy.
Do you remember?
We have a lot of plays.
Do you remember that time he made Michael Vick cry,
bro? And Mike is, listen, not to even say anything bad about Mike, but Mike's been through it all, right?
Yeah.
And I remember he's saying, bro, I cried more with dealing with Chip Kelly and the Eagles, bro, than I did in prison. Right. Think about that for a second, though. Prison,
right?
Chip, like he like to ward him out of jail. It's crazy.
And I think a lot of people don't realize, like when you have a certain style and you've been playing in the NFL for all these years, and it's like, that's my niche. Like, that's what makes me, like you said, like how you hold your ball, or like if I'm running with my pants down, like you say, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your niche, right? At the end of the day, I was going to ask you, I'm running with my pants down, but I'm still scoring touchdowns. I'm still catching deep passes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, for me, I just see, like, Vic was very uncomfortable. Like, let Michael Vick be Michael Vick. Like, one thing I say about Andy Reid, when we first signed Mike, like, they kind of switched it a little bit, but they didn't really, like, change his game that much.
No, they didn't.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, once Chip Kelly comes in, now you trying to change him. And I remember, like, Nick Foles kind of started getting put in there a little more. It was like we started seeing a transition. It was like, oh, you see Michael Vick start kind of not getting as many reps, and now you seeing Nick Foles get all these reps, right? And then, like, we talk about the Oakland game when we was in Oakland.
Went up crazy.
And we played the Raiders. Like, we had, like, 7 touchdowns. I think I had a deep touchdown. Macklin scored 1. Riley Cooper scored, like, 2. And it was like, oh, shit, now you see the transition. Now after that, like, Mike Vick wasn't really getting as much plays. Like, now you would bring him in and out for special plays, like specialty plays. So I think, like, you can see, like, the hater or the favoritism in certain guys. Like, he liked his guys, and then, like, if he really didn't like you and he had to play with you, then he's going to put up with you. But, like, it never was like, oh, McCoy my guy, D-Jack my guy, Macklin my guy, that's who I'm rolling with. Like, it was always, like, a question, like, damn, how much you really fuck with me? You know what I'm saying?
And then, like, all the best players really came from Andy Reid and Howie drafting, right? And
his players was terrible. Yeah, like, his play. And, you know, he was the GM. Like, they gave, like, Howie Roseman wasn't even really, disrespect to Howie, but Howie was really like the GM when it was Joe Banner and it was Howie. Yep. And then, like, once
Joe left, Joe
that's what I'm saying. Once Andy Reid left, when they signed Chip, that was their whole reason why they signed, because they let him be the GM and the fucking head coach.
So I'm gonna go to my trade, right? Because when I got traded, I couldn't believe it. I was third in rush when I got traded. I couldn't even believe it, right? I remember going to his office, and we were having issues with the offense. I said, man, well, what do you think, though? I mean, you trade they cut you, right?
Yeah.
Bro, you cut DeSean Jackson, dog. How you thought the offense was going to be when he left? You thought it was just going to be even better? You know what I'm saying? So I remember having these conversations with him. And even what a guy like Howie, where I was like, yo, man, I was trying to like cry to him about it. You know what I'm saying? Because in the league, you know, the GMs put the teams together and all that.
Yeah.
So, but they gave Chip so much power.
He was the
when
GM.
when I retired and I talked to Mr. Lurie, he said one of the things I regret out of this whole thing is letting him trade you. The problem was, the people don't know, is Chip had so much control where he was trying to do different things, and if the owner would go against it or the GM, right, he would pull that cart. Well, hey, listen, you guys promised me when I came here, right? That was part of the deal. I get the whole operation. So they let him trade me, right? Because BG had the same issue. They didn't trade BG. The owner stepped in and said, nah, that's enough.
Yeah.
But my thing with Chip is, I want to talk about this story is, I got so many stories about this dude. All right, so Howie Roseman. Everybody would say today that Howie is the top GM or top 3 GM right now.
Yep.
He can make the best trades. He does the best contracts. That's what he's doing. When Andy Reid left and Chip Kelly became the man, he put Howie Roseman's desk in a whole nother building with like the marketing team. Mm-hmm. So
it be disrespected.
I used to love saying, because Howie was so smart. I was like a family to us. I can't wait to see how we talk to him about this player, that player, the draft, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that stopped because he moved Howie's desk to a whole other department, so we never could see him. Yeah. It got so bad. It's crazy because how big he is right now. It got so bad for Howie. He wouldn't let Howie come to practice. Remember, he used to go to all practices and watch us play. Mm-hmm. He could never do it no more. I'm like, this dude wants so much control. So look, when they get to the trade, Drew Rosehouse, he called me. He said, Shady, I'm in Miami training. He says, this is not a joke. That's the first thing he says to me. He don't even say hello. Shady, it's not a joke. The Eagles are trading to the Buffalo Bills. I say, man, hey, stop playing, man. What you want, man? What you want, Drew? I'm busy. He said, I'm not playing, Shady. They're trading you. So I'm like, they trading me? The next thing I say is, who they trading me for? I'm thinking 2 second rounders, a good player, this, that, third. He says, Kiko Alonso. I take a pause. I say, who is that? I said, let me look him up. Hold on, True. How you spell that? How you spell that shit? Okay. Who is this dude? I don't know who this dude is. You know where he went to school at?
Where?
Oregon.
He went to Oregon?
Oregon.
He was an Oregon guy?
Bro.
Wow.
This dude is crazy.
Kiko Alonso wasn't nothing. I mean, that's a disgrace.
Who is that, though?
For them to trade you for him, that's a disgrace, bro. I mean, like, and was it a 5th round pick too, or it was just like,
bro,
it was just you for him?
It was so bad. Yo, look.
It was for you and him, or was it
Watch this.
A draft pick too?
So I go to the Bills. Then they gave me a new contract, so I love that. But look, Rex Ryan, you know how Rex Ryan's crazy is. When I get there, he's all happy. Hey, Shady, I'm happy, you know, this and that. You know, they fly me out there, I meet the owner and all that, hanging out. Rex says, yo, that was the fastest trade I've ever had in my life. Now, Rex been coaching for years.
Right.
I said, what you mean, the fast trade? They said, hey, are you guys interested in Shady McCoy? He said, we was like, yeah. He said, we'll get back to you. Yeah. He said, I'm thinking like, yo, they going to want too much for Shady. They going to want too much.
Right.
He said, I call back and said, yeah, we're interested. What's going on? He says, can we get Kiko Alonso? He says, wait, like, all right, yeah. Who else? He said, no, that's it. He said, deal. Bang. That's how the trade went.
And it was done deal.
Done deal, bro.
Wow. Well, so like, what was? Because I want to get into my release after, but like, what? I understand you're I ain't gonna say Philly guy, but you're a Pennsylvania guy. You from Harrisburg, like
hometown. Yeah, go ahead.
That's home. Pennsylvania's home for you.
My house is an hour away, bro.
Right. So like, how did that really make you feel? Because I just know on the football side the disrespect, but like as a man that was accomplished and you know that was established, you was in your backyard, you know your family, and just you know what Philadelphia meant to you, and for you to be able to be an Eagle. And the reason why I'm speaking this because I don't know if I do know you remember this, but David Culley was my coach at the time, and before we draft you, it was like he was already talking to you or knew about you. I don't know what it because you was at the prep school, and he was my rookie year. He was showing me videos of you, and he was like asking me like, man, what you think about him? Like we gonna try to draft him. You know, he's a Harrisburg guy, right? So David Culley loved you, and he used to always tell me about you. So like once he told me about you, and in the draft, it was like I knew we was gonna get you, but like tell me really how did that really make you feel?
It killed me though. Like. Everybody just thinks it's football, and they think that, all right, well, the Bills ripped your contract and gave you a new one. It's more than that. Because, like, you know, I had a son, right? And, well, I have a son now, but we just got the custody thing worked out, right? And me and his mom live in the same place, same state. So it was a 50-50 custody. I see him all the time, and, you know, you build that relationship. Yeah. His school, I get to pick him up sometimes because I live so close. Mm-hmm. And then I get traded. I got to think of that whole, how I'm going to work this out with my son. I'm going to tell him this. Right. Like, little things you don't even think about. You know, my mom, my dad, we got a great relationship. Now seeing them every week, right? My local church where I have a bad day or I'm I need some therapy or a therapist. I go to them, like small things you don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to go to Buffalo. I don't know nothing about Buffalo. Right? It's in New York. Now, I loved it when I got there, but I ain't know nothing about it. I had to change everything. I had to buy a new crib there. This was so much happened so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I ever been basically like, yo.
Away from home?
Nah, that too, because I've been playing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But it was like, yo, you not good enough. We don't want you. And I was like, is it my football?
You felt that's what the Eagles felt about you?
I mean, you tell me. You trading me for a bag of chips and.
I don't think it would be you wasn't good enough.
But no. But hold on. That's the way you perceive it. But I'm saying is.
No, that's what you're saying. Chips feeling.
It had to be, because think about it, bro. I led the league in rushing the year before, all pro, right? First team and all that. The next year, dog, I was third in rushing. He said I had a decline year. So I'm saying, well, dog, you get rid of DeSean, so like the team is gonna be on me now,
stack the box.
right? So then I'm like, okay, so now you tell me you want to trade me. You must don't think I'm that good.
Yeah.
So I call him though. I didn't even tell you this part. You know how I get real competitive.
Yeah.
I said, look, I ain't mad at you trade me, right? I left him a message because he wanted to answer me.
Yeah, he was
I
scared.
said, yo, I ain't mad at you trading me, but just do me a favor. Put me in because I didn't sign the contract yet. So look, the Bills and they trying to trade for me. I said, I'm not going.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really done yet, right? That's how we got more money. But I wasn't going to go. I said, yo, trade me in the division. You trade DeSean, you cut DeSean, he went in the division.
Right.
Let me go in the division.
Yeah.
Since I'm not that good. He never returned my call. Because he already knew what time it was.
I see that as the elephant in the room. Like, I honestly, looking in your position and your situation, I think it was just more he probably couldn't control you or probably couldn't have you doing what he wanted you to do. I don't think that's like, oh, he's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what he said or what they did, like, I see that as like more of a coward move. Like, I'm going to trade away a player that I know I can't really control, or he ain't really going to listen to me, or he ain't going to do what I say. Like, and that's the vibe I got on a guy like that, right? So for me, man, I want to ask this too, because like, and then I'm going to get into my situation. How did it make you feel when he released me? Like, what, like, because, you know, we had a good relationship.
I told you, bro. I mean, I don't tell you everything. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we talk, but we don't talk about everything. Bro, when the release happened, yo, I remember going up there and said, yo, what we doing? Right? Because who we gonna depend on? He promised. Now he did promise me this. He said, yo, I'm gonna bring in somebody.
Jordan Matthews.
Just as he said, I'm not gonna say as good as DeSean, but just as effective.
Right.
Because you can't lose it. Now we got our own relationship, so obviously I'm gonna feel it differently. But as far as the football point, right? We trying to win too.
Right.
What you gonna give me back from that?
Exactly.
Right? And he promised me he was gonna bring me somebody. So I remember saying, yo, man, like, who we getting? Because I'm looking at the team. Riley Cooper was cool, right? Jeremy Maclin was still nice, right? But he's only one guy. Jordan Matthews, he's okay.
Yeah.
He's all right. He's not bad. But that ain't going to take us to the promised land.
That ain't the D-Jack.
Right? Then you leave. Then I leave.
Yeah. Then they got rid of
Maclin left.
Yep.
Yo, you replacing with Sam Bradford?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Sam Bradford.
Awful.
Terrible.
Awful. That's why I hate Heisman's, because like they don't believe it that good. Anyway, him, he's bad. DeMarco Murray. You thought he was me?
Terrible.
You thought that? He was bad. He's not good enough. So you bring in Ryan Matthews from the Chargers. You brought him in there too.
Yeah,
so another thing is you paying them. You paying two dudes what you would have paid me, and they didn't do half the job
at all. Yeah, that shit
was crazy.
That shit was a disgrace, man.
But wait, hold on. I'm gonna cut you off because you asked me about myself. But what about you though? Because yours was, I feel like, a little deeper, because he kind of got into your character a little bit and had people believe in something that wasn't. Because real quick before you go, with the Bills, I remember when I was with the Bills for like 4 or 5 years, and we was trying to get a package like duo with Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
And we wanted a speedy dude that was busy. I remember going into the GMs, and I don't even get into the details. The GM was like, "Hey man, we really want DeSean Jackson, but you think he'll fit in with this team? I heard he's kind of like." I say he's kind of what? Look, he's kind of what? I heard he's got some gang ties, and he's this, and he's terrible off the field. I said, man, that shit is bull crap. Chip made that whole story up. So I know how you got it, but as your homie, as your teammate, I got it the same way, asking about you.
Yeah. Man, I don't even know where to start with this one, man. 11 years ago, though. We're in 2024, man. 2013, the end of 2013. It's crazy, man, because as I look back at this situation, and, this is a heartfelt situation for myself. Never really had a real opportunity to express this. And the reason why I say that is because during the time I was obviously in the NFL, and even after I got released in 2013, I was picked up within a week. You know what I'm saying? I signed a deal with the Washington. It wasn't the Commanders at the time, but you guys know the Washington football team. And so my deal for the Eagles at the time, I had 3 years for $30 million left. I signed a 5-year, $51 million deal, and my first 2 years was guaranteed, and I got that. So in 2013, that was the last year of my guaranteed contract, right?
Okay,
so the next year would have been my third year, and I was supposed to be getting 10 a year, and I had 3 years left.
Andy gave you,
that was Andy.
Okay.
Right, so I'm saying it to say that next year I didn't have any more guaranteed.
Right.
So when they released me, it was like they was releasing me from being able to have that 3 for 30 year, contract, right? Yeah. So, and I'm saying this to say I never was able to really express how I feel on this, and the reason why is because I was still in the NFL, and I felt like I had to politically be correct, and I didn't want to, say things that would have hurt my career, right? So I'm saying this to say now, in 2024, 11 years later, when I was released, I got a call. And it's crazy because the call I got was from the same agent, Drew Rosenhaus.
Okay.
Drew Rosenhaus was my agent as well, too. And I got a call in 2013 from Drew, and they're saying an article has just popped up. And some article out of New Jersey, some reporter out of New Jersey basically brought this article up, and he wrote this long story. And it was like a 3-page story about basically my upbringing. And there was a certain scenario. It was a situation that happened back in 2008 or 2009. One of my childhood friends I grew up with he went to jail for murder. And it was my brother. It was like, somebody I grew up with. I played ball together as a youth. So when he actually got convicted for murder, that's my brother. I'm not finna turn my back on him. I'm gonna help him in any situation. So I end up getting him a lawyer.
Okay.
And I got him a lawyer, and he beat the case.
Oh.
So when he beat the case, I went to go pick him up. Me, my cousin, Spody, and a few of my boys, we went downtown and picked him up from the county jail. He beat the case, right? So we took a picture, and the picture was me and 2 of my homies, and it was my boy that beat murder, but he still had his county blues on. So his county blues is like when they release you from jail, you still got your clothes on, right? So we take a picture, and the picture was dug up. This report was a picture, and they basically talked about all the stuff that was going on, and I'm a basically reflect on the situation.
But it's a picture on like social media or something?
Yeah, it was a picture they found on social media that I think I posted.
Right.
But basically, long story short, they pick up this interview, this report, basically like how I'm basically supporting thugs and I'm supporting murderers, and basically like I'm out here gang banging, and my crowd, the people I choose to hang around is basically like felons and convicted felons, all just types of crazy shit, right? So in this story, it basically talks about how I'm taking pictures with murderers. Like they brought up like, look, he supported murderers. Like, this is my brother. My brother just got convicted, and not really my brother, but when I say my brother, I grew up with him. He got convicted for murder, and I get him a lawyer, and he beat the case, and we go pick him up from jail. So it's just like they start picking and then Drew is telling me like they're releasing you because of this. I'm like, so you finna tell me they releasing me just because I picked up my boy to beat murder? Like, I wasn't a convicted felon. I ain't went to jail. I ain't never been to jail. Like, I have a clean slate on everything I've done, right? So I'm like, wow, like they really finna release me on this, bro. So they end up releasing me, bro, and they is antagonizing me, bro. They're saying I'm a thug, I'm a hoodlum, like I'm not a good player, I'm not a good teammate. Like, bro, like, you know how much that did to me, bro? It killed me endorsements. Like, it had teams like sitting there questioning me, like, coming off a year, like I came off like, how many teams, bro? The whole league was supposed to be one of me, but now I got to go to meetings and like sit here and like, I don't know if you remember, I did the interview with Stephen A. Smith.
I remember that.
I did the interview with Stephen A. Smith, and he's sitting there questioning me, asking me like how was it? Like, do you hang out with thugs? Are you a gang member? I'm like, bro, you talking to a kid that grew up in South Central LA, who's not gonna be around gang members, bro. Right. Like, that's the hood I grew up in. Like, you are a product in your environment. I don't care like what you say, but at the end of the day, like, I'm out here pressing line, I'm out here killing people, and I'm robbing people. Like, no, but yeah, like, I grew up in the hood. Like, I'm gonna be hanging out
with some of these dudes,
right? Like, these are my boys, bro. That's the area I'm from. I grew up in the area, bro. So it was like, to me, I just didn't really understand the picture they painted on me, and it was like, really sitting back now, it was like, bro, you really released me off of allegations, bro. And, like, that was a coward-ass move, bro. Like, that was really, like, you was scared of a powerful young black man that you couldn't really relate to. And it was all off of a story that was dropped.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like,
did that carry over, you think, in your career? Like, when you go places, you felt like they always looked at you a certain way?
Bro, I'm going to just be real with you, Shady. Man, like, I really couldn't even look my own mother in her face during this time, bro, because, like, my mother really was, like, in disbelief. You know what I'm saying? Like, she raised me, like, respectful. My dad, you know, respectful. And for me, it was just like I was almost crucified for just being how I was, like, hanging around the guys I grew up with. And, like, the thing about me, and a lot of people will always say, like, I got a big heart. I try to help everybody, bro, and it could be a downfall as well too, bro. So, like, certain situations, I'm bringing my homies to. Like, you remember when I was young in the league, like, I used to have literally 50 dudes, 20 dudes with me, bringing them into the locker room, bringing them to games, like, you know, taking them to events, like, and I didn't know no better, bro. Like, I had to understand, I had to do stuff. Like, it's almost like you fall and hit your head, and you had to understand, like, even the social media posts. Like, me now, I would have never made that social media post of, like, going to pick my boy up.
But it was innocent,
after
though.
being murdered.
My thing is, it's an innocent thought as a kid. That's innocent.
But you're right. But that's the perception that these folks are scared of, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm portraying an image, or I'm putting out this image that a lot of these people can never relate to. They are scared of it. Being around murders, like,
right.
in jail, like, the people that are paying us and signing our checks, bro, that's not nothing they can, like, relate to, bro. So for me, like, I would just, like, if I could do anything again, bro, I just would have, like, not really posted stuff on social media, and I wouldn't have put certain things out there. But if I'm gonna be real with you, bro, like, I think that affected me my whole career, bro. It's always affected me, and still to this day, I'm still trying to, like, you know, put my best foot forward and show these guys, like, you know, I'm not a hoodlum, or, like, you know, yeah, I grew up and yeah, I hang with certain individuals, but does that make me a bad player? I mean, a bad person?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think, like, that part of it was, like, I never really able to get the benefit of the doubt that I deserved, bro. And it was, like, all off of Chip Kelly, bro. Like, you literally, like, tarnished a young kid that was innocent, that didn't do nothing but do right for people. And like I said, I speak on me having a big heart. Like, my heart is bigger than every, like, you can ask, like, if you need, I'm gonna help you if I can help you. Like, especially if you my boy, I'm gonna take you on a plane. I'm gonna take you places you never been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes,
that,
like,
yeah.
I'm almost, like, crucified for that and having that big heart. So, like, yeah, that.
I mean, but
me,
and then not even to go on, because you came from the heart, right? And I remember just when that did happen, right? My thing is, you know, he never reached out to the players to see, well, is this true? Okay, so then I'm hearing DeSean hangs with these guys and this and that, and heard that DeSean, well, won't you ask some of his teammates? I hang out with him on some occasions. I would know. And I remember asking Chip, like, yo, man, like, when you made that move, like, yo, why you ain't really talk to nobody about it? Like I'm never going to tell on nobody, but there's times where Andy Reid may ask questions, right, about his teammates, about his players. Mm-hmm. And, right, I'm going to be as honest as possible, but it's like, if we trying to win, we trying to win. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put my boy out there, but I'm going to be honest. And I remember saying, like, yo, we needed him, because now we struggling to make things happen when we didn't need to do this. And if you felt like he was this type of bad person, why don't you ask somebody? Or these dudes you might have seen, you heard about, did you see him? Who are they? That's the only thing with Chip, is like, when I say he was uncomfortable, because any other coach I played with or played for, we going to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. Yo, look, man, DeSean, hey, I'm hearing you hanging out with hoodlums. I'm hearing that you hanging out with murderers. I'm hearing that you doing this, you doing that. And let's talk about it. Y'all never even talked about it.
Never had one conversation. It was almost like he
sabotaged me, bro.
It's almost like he saw that article and then made his opinion up, and it was like his scapegoat. Instead of really just coming out, like you say, I really feel like they didn't want to pay me another three years for $30 million. I think that was the real situation. And instead of saying that, like, you go sabotage me, like you just said, like, you basically go sabotage me, and then you put this image out here. Now, guess what that does? Now you affect my livelihood. You affect the food that I'm putting on my tables for my family. You feel what I'm saying? And not only that, bro, you made me lose out on $6 million. Because when I went to the Washington team at that time, I got 3 for 24, but I was supposed to be getting 3 for 30.
Right.
So it's like, you take food off my table. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you feel if I took food off your table? Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you did, and that shit was coward as hell, bro. And I just don't respect you. And if I seen you, I probably I'm gonna be real.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know this, but the money part, like so that year, Vitamin Armor, right? They came out with me, Grunk, and I think Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
Just signed a big deal with them. I'm all excited. When I got traded, bro, I lost all that. They said, yo, we can't promote this in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right? I look
No,
at
it's not a marketable space. It's not a marketable space.
The royalties from the jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, the last 2 years when I had in Philly, I was like, I had a top 6 jersey sale. That's money that I'm making. When I went to Buffalo, that changed. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, you didn't send me to Buffalo because you thought it was the best move for your team. You sent me there to die. Mm-hmm. Because now Buffalo Bills now, they wasn't like that back then, right? Where they going TV games, they getting primetime games, they getting these superstar players. They wasn't doing none of that, right? You sent me there because you wanted me to die. You wanted me to be buried.
Sure.
That's why, I ain't gonna lie, like, that dude, bro, and people now ask me about it, I don't really get on him as much because I'm older. It's like whatever. But it's like I hate when I see people have that much control and power over Smiley's future.
But let's just be real though. Like at the end of the day, he affected me personally. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say that's why he never really had the success in the NFL. After he left Philly, he went to San Francisco.
Oh, I gave him 3 touchdowns in the 185. I think
you feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna touch on that too. So it's like when he left Philly, he didn't really do nothing in Philly. Then you leave and you go to San Francisco. Then your career is declining.
The real him showed up.
The real him showed up, and then it's like you leave there and you go everywhere you went. Like you declined to just recently past.
And it's in the same narrative with the players. Like
the past 2 years where he's just now. He's just really now getting back right. Like he turned the program around barely the past like 2 years at UCLA, but. I'm going to speak on this specifically because he traded you. I mean, he traded you. He released me. So when he released me, I was able to stay in conference. I think that was the best thing I could have ever did because it's like every time I see you, bro, when I played them, every time I played the Eagles, I was killing their ass, bro. I had my stats versus the Eagles every time I played them. Like I remember my first game was back in Philly, bro. I was like that. I was anticipated. I was ready to go on. And every time I went to a sideline, I used to bitch ass, like, I was talking all type of shit to him. He was sitting over there, and every time I go over there, I'm calling him all types of crazy. Now I ain't even really gonna get into, but I violated you every time I seen you, and I was on the sideline. I violated you, and you never really looked at me every time I lined up on your side of the field. But every time I played against him, I killed him. They had the Brandon Fletcher, whatever that corner was.
Oh, he was weak.
They had Brandon,
St.
Louis. They had Brandon Fletcher. Then they had Kerry Williams. They had Nate Allen. There was a receiver, Kurt Coleman. You remember all these dudes, bro? Yeah. Every time I played him, I'm going crazy on him. I scored like 2-3 touchdowns. I did the Eagle, and I booted the Eagle. And I was going viral on him, bro. And that was like, that shit was personal. I love Philadelphia fans. And I know it was a hard time for y'all to see that, but it wasn't y'all. This shit was personal. This was for Chip Kelly and whoever else was with that decision that his ass released me off of. So, like I said, I was violating the Eagles, bro, every time I played them, and it was like personal. And I'm going to be real. That's why they came back and got me in 2019, bro. Because Howie and Doug was like, man, we should have never let you go.
Yep.
Like, I'm coming back to get you, even though it didn't really plan out how I should have because you had a few injuries and got hurt. But, like, that's home, bro. And, like, honestly, I know you always talk shit and give me shit because his jersey, no one can wear the 25. But, honestly, bro, if they never let me go, I would have been an all-time leading receiver in history. You know, no disrespect to Harold Carmichael because he's a GOAT. But 6,000 yards, he got like 6,800, bro.
That's it?
All time, yes. I got like 64. I think it's 65. So if I would have stayed there my whole career, bro, like the records is shattered. All the Devontae Smith, all like y'all doing y'all thing, bro. But no one would have been able to tell. I got 11,000 plus, bro. So for me, it was just like personal. Like every time I played versus the Eagles, it was personal, bro. And I used to light their ass up every time. Shit was personal.
What up?
Jay Peters.
Oh, that Jay face.
Big bro, what's the deal?
Man, I can't call it.
Man, how you feeling, bro?
I'm good.
What's up, nigga?
I'm right here with this nigga Shady.
What do you got going?
Hey, look, we got a question for you. We need authentic. We need the real big homie because we know how you is. What's the first thing that come to your mind when you hear Chip Kelly?
A fucking bullshit ass guy.
What you? Hold on.
Hey, he fucked us out about 2 Super Bowls, man.
Hey, real authentic from the big bro. You said he a what, bro? Say it one more time.
Bullshit ass guy, man. That don't know how to deal with star players. That's his MO.
I love it, big bro.
All right, already.
All right, 100. Man, my dog, that was a hefty one, man. And
But it's good to get it out though, right?
I just feel a lot better. This is my first time really being able to have some clarity.
It's like therapy, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm surprised it ain't really break down because, you know, he took some money out of my pocket. But like I said, Chip, just stay your way. Don't come by me. Do your thing. And, I don't wish you good luck, though. But anyway, man, as you always going to have it, here, raw and uncut on 25-10 for the win. I'm your boy D-Jack, and that's my dog, Shady McCoy, man. And it's 25-10 for the win, man. Right. Welcome to Death Row. Hey, don't forget to like, follow,